Hello and welcome to Sandra from Sandra's Stampin' Craft Studio. Welcome to our Scraphoarders birthday collaboration series. There are some wonderful crafters over the next 3 weeks going to show you some different ways to use your scraps. I'm sure you'll like the rest of us and have tons of scraps from your card making and other paper crafting creations. This week we're going to show you how to use some of those to make some embellishments, all different kinds. And then in the following weeks we're going to go on to making tags or treat toppers and cards. There will be some prizes along the way on some of the channels, and also over the 3 weeks, if you have watched and commented on all the videos each week, then you will be entered into a grand prize which is open internationally. Check the description box below and you'll find all the details. Now let me get you down onto the craft table. So today I'm starting with a couple of mats here that I've got, just talking you through some of the pieces that I often prepare from my scraps. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from the UK, and you will find that most of my products today are current Stampin' Up products. So with the embellishments I have in here, when I gut the middles of my card layers that aren't going to be seen, I like to punch shapes that I will be able to use. So it's creating more scraps, but useful scraps. Next I have my little jam jar here. I only have a few in here today, but I do have some mini hearts that I've die cut from scraps. These pieces here are all die cut from stamp sets that are current. The words here are a retired set called Well Written. My next mat shows you a selection of banners that are cut using a die from the Tasteful Labels die, which also is a really handy shape for using all those scraps. For my first embellishment, I have another framelit here that's been die cut from my Tasteful Labels dies, and one of the retired greetings I mentioned earlier. Now this is a silicone mat here. I like to use our Tombow multi-purpose adhesive. So I'm going to make a little puddle of adhesive here. And then I take a small piece of sponge and I'm going to just massage that into the sponge, and then I'm going to tap that all over the back of my die. Turning this over and laying this onto my die, taking care to remember that there are tails on some of my letters up this end. Now for that little dot there, the dot on the eye, I took care to capture that, and I'm going to place a tiny dot of Tombow in place where the eye will go. Next I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool from Stampin' Up. It has a little putty end here to pick up that tiny dot and then place it over my adhesive. Press it down firmly, and that's in position. Take away my sticky mat, and then we'll embellish this piece here. I'm going to be featuring 2 stamp and punch bundles. One is the Flowers of Friendship with the 2 flowers and 2 leaves, and the other is the Sweet Strawberry with the strawberry leaf, stem and flower punch. This is really useful for small embellishments, especially this small flower. Here I have 2 of the large and 2 of the small flowers and 2 large and small leaves. I'm taking a large ball tool to go round in a circular shape in the centre of each of the flowers. It will bring them up on the outside edges and give them some 3D dimension to them. Once I've decided where I'm going to place my images, I will just place a tiny dot of adhesive on the back of these. The leaves will be just tucked under the outside edges here, wherever you wish to place them. It's what you're dreaming of. It's what you're dreaming Next I had some rhinestones, and I will add one to each of the smaller flowers. And then a medium size to the larger flower. Next I'm bringing back a couple of the little hearts, and I will put a dot of Tombow adhesive and one of the hearts, and then a dot of adhesive with the second heart. And there is my first embellishment to add to your project. My next embellishment, I'm using a couple of dies from the Painted Labels dies here, and the edge trim there as well. With the ink colours, we also have 5 of the markers, one in each colour, and I'm going to be using the evergreen, evening evergreen colour. This sentiment I'm using on this birthday embellishment is the Happy Birthday from Pansy Patch stamp set. It's a photopolymer stamp, and it has gorgeous stamps and dies coordinating. For this embellishment, I'll be using the broad tip of my evening evergreen marker and colouring in just the word birthday. I'm using my marker on its side, not the point, because the point will get damaged. Just stroking it gently over those letters. If you're unsure and you'd like to test first, grab a piece of scrap paper and stamp the word birthday. So we're leaving the happy untouched at the moment, and we will just use that marker on its side, re-ink that. And we're going to stamp just that one word onto one of our tags. And there's our word birthday. Now I'm taking one of my scrap pieces and I'm just going to stamp the word happy. We could ink the whole piece up, or you could use this with an ink pad. And I will stamp this across the corner here. Using my paper snips, I'm just going to snip off the word happy and keep that in my little pot for later. And I'm just going to make a little brick of this sentiment, trimming closely round all the edges. Until you have one small word like so. My sentiment, I'm going to line this up along the top of this trim here. So I will place some Tombow along the bottom edge of my sentiment, very, very lightly. And I'll line this up with the end of my banner. This could be any border punch or die. I particularly like this pretty one. This will be overhanging on the end. That doesn't matter because we're going to be making advantage of that shortly. This will sit just through the centre, or just lower than the centre of my sentiment, my embellishment. And then this little brick here is going to be offset just to the side like so. Now we were going to bring on some of my flowers from the strawberry bundle. I have some here I prepared earlier, but I'm going to show you how I achieved those. So I have my polished pink ink pad. And we'll take the outline stamped image and stamp 3 more flowers. And then we'll take the solid image and stamp this off and use the second generation, lining that up over the top. I've done those in the stronger image because they show better on the camera, but I will be using the Fresh Freesia ones out of my little pot pre-prepared. So the punch for this one has the strawberry, the leaf, the stem and the flower. The stems are achieved in exactly the same way, doing the 2-step stamping, and I will snip each of those in half. I'll snip away the stem, the centre, and then snip these in half. And that will provide me with the leaves for my small flowers. Placing a dot of adhesive on the bottom and then my flower on here, like so. Hold it in place until the glue sets, and there is my flower ready to embellish. I'll do that again with the next one. A dot of glue, sticking to me, and a little flower with the tiny little pieces of leaves hanging out the end. Who would have thought such a beautiful little flower could come from a strawberry punch set? So these can be placed on, covering up this tail here, wherever you would like those to go. I'm going to place one on the end of the sentiment. It's always nice to craft in threes, and this one will be placed at the top here on the base of the embellishment. And there is a cute little topper to go onto your project. Again, before I finish, I will just add, I love the small rhinestones here, and they look so cute just inside those flowers. You can do most anything, so just do what you love. Live it, share it. For this embellishment, I am using our lovely Labels tag topper punch, and I will place this in the end here down the track. Stampin' Up currently have 3 tag topper punches. Each of the punches have a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch and a 1 inch track on each design. Thread that through the middle. I like to just turn over and make sure that that's definitely in the center before I punch. And that will shape the end piece here. Apologies, the sound on my video stopped here. So I'm showing you here how I position my banners along the tag. Here I'm attaching some Tombow adhesive to the back of my sentiment and then onto the decorative border. And now I'm back to our delightful small flowers that we used earlier. And again, adding as a trio. Here my embellishment is nearly finished, adding some more small rhinestones to the centre of the flowers for the finishing touches. When laying out my embellishments at the end of my video, I realised that I hadn't put the word happy on the first embellishment. So I take my polished pink ink pad, stamp the greeting and snip as we did earlier.
It started with a dream. Our passion made a difference and built a family. We've grown strong together, you know it's all because everybody plays a part in doing what we love.
Thanks again for joining me today. Remember to look at the top of the description box below to find the next person in our lineup. If this is your first visit with us today, please like and subscribe to our channels so that you can be notified when the next Scraphoarders videos are released. There will be 3 grand prize winners from all those who have watched and commented on all the videos each of the 3 weeks. Check the description box below for all the details, and I do hope to see you again here soon. Bye for now.